I think I had bad luck long enough that good luck finally kind of found me at just the right time. I've been involved with OMG for about 2.5 years now. I'm 41, so I wasn't like an early to the market type as far as online marketing goes. I really I found online marketing and specifically found SEO really in a position of kind of desperation. I was 38, had just gotten married for the first time, wound up kind of acquiring an 8-year-old daughter in the mix, and had a construction company here in Phoenix. I still live here, so I was climbing around in people's attics doing home improvement, focused primarily on energy efficiency. So I was fixing people's air conditioners in 145-degree attics in the summertime here in Phoenix. It wasn't very fun, but it did, let me, kind of pay the bills and do things like that. Got to really this kind of turning point in my life, which occurred while I was climbing around in the attic, and got a phone call from my wife letting me know that the utility company had turned the water off. And it really just kind of smacked me in the face. It's just more than even a wake-up call, just like you retrace the steps of what led you to the point where you are now. And, I at first was mad, and then I was, mad at the utility company, and then I was mad at myself. But kind of by the time I, crawled on my belly out of the insulation and got in my truck to go home, I also knew that I had to do something to get myself out of that position. And the issue that I had with the construction company that I was running, and when I say construction company, it was me and subcontractors that I lined up. It wasn't like I had a lot of employees. The issue that I really had was I just didn't get enough phone calls. And I, knew kind of inherently that there was a lot of stuff going on the internet that potentially could solve that problem for me. I didn't know how. I didn't know about search engine optimization. I didn't know about pay-per-click. I didn't know about email marketing or anything else. I'm not trying to pretend I wasn't, I knew how to sell myself. That's what I had to do for a living. But these tools that really made it a lot easier were not something that was familiar to me. So I essentially kind of went on the internet and looked. I looked for ways to market my business better on the internet, and wound up coming across a webinar that Mike Long and Greg Morrison had done, where they were essentially kind of talking about search engine optimization, about getting free traffic from Google, generating phone calls, generating sales, and things like that. And just in hearing it, it made sense. It kind of clicked, like, oh yeah, it's obviously there's a huge potential to make a lot of money off the internet. But then, of course, the first thing I did skeptically was, hey, I really have no money. I don't even have enough money to buy this product, but is this really work? And that was, fortunately, for me, where, Mike and David, who founded the company, understood that a lot of people who buy things on the internet are skeptical. They rightfully should be skeptical, because there's not a lot of proof behind the earnings claims that a lot of people have. So even at that time, they had lined up kind of just normal people that had bought into OMG machines, and had made money with the traffic that they were getting from organic rankings on Google SEO. So, I watched enough of them. There was a particular guy, Lonnie, that I still talk to from time to time. He was a basketball coach. He still is a basketball coach, kind of, and I think he's in Austin, Texas. And he was just, really humble, normal guy who had, wanted to get to a better place in life. And he was an AAU basketball coach, which, if people don't know, it's kind of like a summer league basketball, where you've got to, as a coach, fill your team up. That's what you get paid for, and then you play a season. So he had essentially ranked for AAU basketball league keywords in Austin, Texas, and wound up making something like $70,000 or $80,000 in a couple months. And I was like,
wait, how much?
Yeah, 70 or 80 grand. I can't remember the exact number. But yeah, and I was just like,
okay, doing what he normally does, like just
doing what he normally does,
and then showing it online. Wow.
Exactly. So, it was stories like that when you've got just one after another after another after another, and you can tell these guys, they're not really polished, presentation style salespeople. They're not. It wasn't that they hired a bunch of actors to tell the stories of other people. They were just real people, and they weren't compensated for the testimonial or the story that they were telling about kind of the transformation they'd experienced. That let me kind of have my due diligence done, taken care of. So then the real issue presented itself, which was I can't pay for this. I need it, but I can't pay for it. So I had talked with my wife, and she said, honey, I trust you. We can't stay here. If this isn't where we want to be, we've got to move on. And what I did was essentially I sold my truck, and I sold some other equipment that I had that were the ways I made money currently. I didn't make much money. I didn't even make enough money, but they were the only tools that I had to make money with. So I sold those and bought into OMG, and I'm glad I did. It turned out that I learned what I needed to learn. I worked hard. It took a lot of hours because it was something I didn't have experience with. But within 60 days, I had deposited almost $11,000. That was profit for me. So that more than paid for,
Wow.
any of the tuition, any of the overhead I had, put me well on my way to not only living a better life, but seeing some potential outside of just being a construction worker. So yeah, like I said, that was coming up on 3 years ago now, and things have been really good since then.
3 years, and so
Yeah.
so let me understand this, and I like the word that you used, this transformation. Your transformation. You took the only things that were making you money, and sold them to get OMG machines, and like you put yourself in a definite sink or swim situation. Like, what I want to ask is, do you think that's where the transformation happened? Like, where it was like, okay, sink or swim, I got to go outside my comfort zone